We are talking to Honorable Luscious Banda, an MP in the Malawian government and also a musician, just released a brand new single, a tribute to Oliver Mtukudzi, and is also sharing with us how Malawi has reacted or is reacting to the death of Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi.
Yes, Brother George, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for taking my call at this late hour here.
It's my pleasure.
I was pleasantly surprised yesterday when one of my friends sent me a song, because we were talking about the late Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi, and then he sent your song, and it was captivating right from the beginning. And then he sends me your business card, and I realized, wait a minute, this gentleman here is in politics too. Before we even talk about the Oliver Mtukudzi commemoration, tell me, how do you mix the two? Which one came first?
Well, music came first, and then music sent me to Parliament.
Music sent you to Parliament? Tell me about it.
Well, the kind of music I was involved in all along from my childhood is what we normally call conscious music. It's kind of reggae music, but not talking about love, I love you, baby, stop, no. But talking about real love, humanity, talk about the problems that people face at the hands of African politicians and all that, the corruption that happens in Africa. These are matters that I was thinking about, and then slowly I started thinking that maybe I should just go do it myself. Mm-hmm. Sure, so I found myself in Parliament.
But then you would think that such lyrics in the Africa that we live in today, especially if your lyrics are kind of opposition lyrics, then you wouldn't have very long to live in Africa.
Yeah, it all depends, because at first, as a young boy, I could just sing anything. I could just see situations and sing about them. But when I joined politics, which is quite a while ago now, I'm talking of now, I'm finishing my second term, and I had an absent term in between, which is in over 15 years. I realized that you can as well sing, but you can as well sing as a politician. You know how to put your message in such a way that politicians would hear your message without actually getting offended. I've learned how a politician feels when he's being criticized. There are two ways you can actually criticize a politician. You would criticize him and get him to do right, or you'd criticize him and get him to become worse. It all depends on the approach you take. So that has, being in politics myself, has helped me to understand better and be able to sing the song in a way that I can survive while I sing.
So do the people in Malawi take you seriously both ways, as a musician and as a politician, or they take you more seriously in one of these spheres more than the other?
Well, one hard thing to do that I have managed to do is to be able to show people that I can be at my place as a musician and be as a politician in a different way as well. I've tried as much as possible not to make the two work together. Mm. There are times I am contracted by different parties to perform. Mm. Despite belonging to one particular party, I have gone to perform for another party, as long as they want me to play my music.
That is beautiful democracy right there.
Oh, yeah, it's been happening. Of course, not quite possible with a campaign period as we are now going towards, because now the tempers are higher than normal. but during the term, another party would invite me to go perform on their dinner dance. I'll go perform another part on Elari, but I give them a condition that I'm not going to sing any song praising anybody. I will sing songs that I recorded in my album, they understand.
So as a politician, you are an MP or what? Because I see it's written honorable here, Honorable Luscious Banda. Designation,
I'm a member of Parliament. Okay. I'm a member of Parliament. I'm a sitting member of Parliament, but also in my party, I'm now a national campaign director. I'm campaigning the whole campaign of the most likely to win candidate in this year's elections.
All right. I say good luck, sir, to the elections. Maybe, who knows, I might come to Malawi during the elections, and instead of you singing, then I'll sing for you.
Beautiful. Thank you. I can't wait. I wish it happens that way. Thank you so much for the wishes.
It'll be great. We share one love, the love of Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi. What a loss he was to not only Zimbabwe, but his influence transgressed borders. race, gender. How huge was he in Malawi?
He was a household name. In fact, I'll tell you, there has never been so much shock, continuous shock to the death of a musician, international artist, the way it has been with Dr. Oliver. You see, he used to come to Malawi he's been coming to Malawi for a very long time. He was our own. Every 2 years we would see him come and we would all converge and watch him. The strength of Oliver is his humility. He was a down-to-earth gentleman, someone who would be ready to teach, but would actually also be ready to learn, even when he knows exactly what you're teaching him. He'll still give you his ear.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
He was that kind of guy, yeah.
He was that kind of guy. I performed once with him. He never made me feel small. He actually looked at me as an equal, as a colleague on stage. Much as I was way big as an international artist, me as a local artist, much appealing to Malawians at that time. He never looked down upon me, and unlike some artists who would come into a country and they don't even want to look at who's performing before them. When Oliver had to sit in the crowd and hide himself and watch and say, "Good boy, work hard." He was such a great man. Yes, it's a huge loss. It's a big tragedy for Africa. And when we look at him, we were actually saying, okay, we've lost Yuma Sekela, we've lost Miriam Makeba, we've lost Jabu Kanye, we've lost all those big guys, but we have Uncle Oliver around us. So at least we are able to say we have an uncle around in music, So, right now, honestly, we're orphaned.
So you have had a very personal, close encounters, positive encounters with Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi. What about the people of Malawi? The ones that did not have the opportunity to have a one-on-one with him, and yet they were still drawn to his music. What is it about his music that you think drew Malawians to Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi, and yet there was the problem of the language barrier there?
You see, when I was thinking about his whole musical career upon hearing that he has passed on, I analyzed him. I came up with three things after my analysis. Oliver Mtukudzi teaches us to persevere. He persevered for a very long time. According to me, he performed his music for a very long time without breaking through to the whole world. If I'm not mistaken, the song which became very famous worldwide was Todi to most Malawians. Much as me as an artist, I was listening to him way before that. But to hear Oliver in every pub and every radio was Todi, And that's around 1997, 98. Not long time ago.
That's about 20 years, yeah. Yeah,
about 20 years now. This is a 66-year-old artist. We're talking of 40 years of persevering. I'm only 48 now. So my career is like 30 years. So it's also the breakthrough at age 20, something like that. He was able to carry himself all those years because he persevered. He insisted on the same style of music and the same language. He managed to convince people that I accept me the way I am or do not accept me, And actually people started loving the music more than they would love the message. But of course, on the other hand, Bantu languages cracks here and there.
Yeah,
you should be able to still pick up what he's trying to say. It's Malawian, or even Zimbabwean. Even South African. You should be able to hear here and there what he's trying to say because Amai is the same Amai. Moyo is the same Moyo, and a lot of things are similar. Language hasn't been a barrier to people of Malawi loving Oliver's music.
So the reaction from the public, how has it been? Would we be getting people, because of the close proximity geographically to Zimbabwe, people even going to Zimbabwe for the funeral?
There's a lot of people who are concerned with the death. Apparently, I would love to come to Zimbabwe for the funeral. Unfortunately, the happenings of the past 2 weeks have not really been very very easy for people living outside Zimbabwe. We don't know how things are. And that's actually what is making many people kind of hesitant to, I would love to see the last of Oliver. But then you think of what if anything happens? Because
Right.
there were things that have been happening, you're not sure about your safety and stuff like that.
Well, we're just hoping that
Sure.
this funeral here, we see Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi has been declared a national hero. Let's hope that his death, tragic though it may be, it would also act as a catalyst for unity in Zimbabwe and the dying down of any factions or any violence in the country. That's what we are all praying for right now.
I think that would be the greatest thing, and I think that would be the greatest honor Zimbabwe would give to Oliver, to use his passing on as a unifying factor. I would applaud Zimbabweans if they would do that, because honestly, this man has really been a great ambassador of Zimbabwe, not only in music but as a country, because when you hear Oliver Mtukudzi singing, you do know that there's a Zimbabwean guy who sang in Shona, you know. So I think it's good that Zimbabwe uses this as an opportunity for unifying all the factions that are divided now.
Talking about what we can do as Zimbabweans to show respect, the greatest respect to Oliver Mtukudzi, you have also shown the greatest respect by releasing in such a short period of time a song that pays homage to Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi, and an incredible song that I fell in love with the first time I listened to it. Tell us how that song came about and, the creation process around it.
There's been a lot of excitement. Unfortunately, online distribution of music in Malawi is not really up to the high standards of South Africa or Europe or elsewhere. So it's really being held. People have just been sending the music to each other. We are trying to upload on our biggest platform, which is Malawi.com. I'm sure tonight it will be on. But there's a lot of excitement, a lot of appreciation to the song. Radio stations started playing it yesterday. So far, so good. A lot of people getting amazed at where did you compose this song already? I'm having to explain that no, the song comes when you hear the message. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement towards the release of that song.
How long did it take you? Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi passed away on Wednesday. So did it come to you on that Wednesday, or it was a creative moment that came after the passing?
I heard the message of the passing of Oliver on Wednesday afternoon around 4 p.m. I recall I was with fellow MPs in a remote area where we were speaking to young girls and boys about production health and HIV by sitting in that committee. So we were in that meeting, and one MP said, Oliver has died. Me, I said, he dies a lot of times. Just like I also die several times. We musicians are always publicized. You have died. Luscious has died. Oh, Oliver has died. It's been a number of times that has been said. I said, so don't tell me about that. People just say those things. I didn't take it seriously. When I go back into my apartment in the evening is when I saw the media everywhere. Then something started cooking in my mind. I said, no, this is a great guy. In the past, I've done tributes for presidents in my country. I do tributes instantly. It has been a tradition I've done, but I stopped way back. When I was doing that, I was not as busy as I am these days. But for this one, I left everything and started writing the song and called my guys, and we went into a studio. My whole team came in, were giving me suggestions. The melodies should move like this, like this. I wrote a chorus, and the verse just kept coming as I was singing on the microphone. By yesterday morning, the song was done. You were one of the first people to get it. The Radio Bob is big. I've been hearing Radio Bob for a long time.
It's been great talking to you, Honorable Luscious Banda. Good luck on the campaign and the re-election. We also want to say, may your song as well climb to the top of the charts there in Malawi. And I'm hoping that it also gets a lot of airplay in Zimbabwe to show Malawi's great honor that they are paying to this great man of Africa.
Thank you so much, George. Thanks for having me on Bob. I'd appreciate that opportunity. Thank you.
And how do we follow you on social media? Are you active on social media, sir?
Luscious Chicho, Hiccio Banda. I'm very active, especially on Facebook.
Honorable Luscious Banda, he's a politician in Malawi, he's a member of parliament, he's also a musician, just released a song, a tribute to the late great Mr. Oliver Mtukudzi. Let's sample the song.
Warira mama Tiku ya njengo anjikolo la pita Tachoka Afrika tachoka Tiku ya njengo anjizati wapita Warira Afrika warira mama Tiku ya njengo anjikolo la pita Tachoka Afrika tachoka Tiku ya njengo anjizati wapita a lion, his voice deep like a sea, he spread the music to Africa and the world beyond. Oliver, we will miss you. Oliver, we will miss you. Warira, Africa, warira mama. Broken, Africa, we are broken. The pillars of music in Africa. One by one going to the grave. Oh, heaven came while Africa is crying. Oh no. Who will stand for Africa now? It's been too much for a short time. But you done shine like a new now, Oliver. Our tears never drying off it. Every now and then we're losing our music. Dab Kanyeri, Brenda Fassi, you Masekela, Mama Makepa, like you do it, Dan Chanda. Oh, warira, Africa, warira mama. Tachoka, Africa, tachoka. Tiku ya njengo anjizati wapita. Warira, Africa, warira mama. Tiku ya njengo anjikolo la pita. Tachoka, Africa, tachoka. Tiku ya njengo anjizati wapita. Oliver, rest in Malawi kulira Oliver Mtukudzi. Nalibwenzi la Malawi. Dafika kangapo kuno ku Malawi. Bewera limosi. Dala wafasa, wozi chepeta. Osekerera winali. Olira, ifolira. Como dada Daga kamira chamba chanu inu Ndaimba chiyankulo chanu inu Timuda tengeke sambaza weni wake. Daimirira Africa, Africa, Africa kulira kimania. Walira Africa walira mama. Tiku ya njengo anje kolo la pita. Tachoka